Chad, I'm not gonna lie. If streamer late, it's Caitlin's fault.
What do you mean?
You had to step away to close your door, otherwise I could have started a minute sooner.
Oh no.
Streamer late, Caitlin fault. Alright, so I don't feel like
you have to blame my uncle, because the reason I had to shut the door is because
yeah.
my grandmother's still babysitting.
No, it's someone's fault. What's going on for you, Fazbear? Let me get this open on my phone so I can look at chat because I'm a normal person with only one monitor.
I don't think that's the norm these days.
Okay, whatever you say, person who steals all of her tech from NASA.
I don't.
It's Cap. It's literally Cap. Anyway, chat, today we are talking about Deltarune. We've never been more back. True. We're going to be talking about a lot of Deltarune theories today, because I don't feel like playing through Chapter 5 all over again, but I do feel like talking about some of the things in it, because there's a lot of shit to talk about here. I have a list of topics on screen already. If you guys have anything else we should talk about, bring it up and we'll go over it, but there's a lot of shit here already. I don't know how long this will take, but we're covering mostly the regular route, but we have weird route shit right down here as well, because it's going to be important. Whether we like it or not, weird route is going to fuck with us in the future.
And I'm convinced that there's at least 3 routes, because we did not get the aborting noise.
Yeah.
For aborted weird route.
Yeah. What's going on, A4? What's going on, Juan Potatoes, Mori, Goth Monkey, Withered Circle, the Lake Cryonide. What does it mean?
Yeah, add that to the list.
Well, just the lake in general?
Yeah.
Alright. I was kind of going to go under breaking the game, but we could talk about that.
Well,
I spelled FNAF wrong? Yeah, sure. Dr. Dave, it's Trail. What's going on? Yeah, like how Onion fucking died.
Dude, Onion, no! Onion!
Yeah. It's no longer Pride Month. It's now Gay Wrath Month. This is where they're going to take over the government. I don't have a banner for that at the bottom, but like I might get it soon.
I saw it. I haven't clicked on it yet.
Juan, you starving, bro. You are starving for Mew Mew, bro. You're so good. Anyway.
I mean, who wouldn't starve for the animated cat girl?
Normal people. Alright. So, chat. Here's where we're gonna start. We're gonna start up here with the summoning. Now, I'm gonna let you know right now, this may or may not be a video in the future. It's not my next video. My next video is going to be the sister location one. We're working on that. It's gonna be the main focus starting right after this stream. We're getting all the Deltarune out of our system, and then we're going straight into sister location, because I want money.
Yeah,
so
before we get into this too far, I do want to point out that Charlie Emini of glue victim fame was a core part of coming up with the things we're going to talk about here.
Yeah, especially this first one, and then a little bit more later. Like these first two things, Charlie had a lot to say with it. So we are getting we're getting glue victim notoriety with this one.
That means you know it's true.
That means it's true, objectively. So, what I want to start off with is the summoning. Now, what do I mean by the summoning? I should probably have pulled this up, actually. Chapter 5. Can I just pull up Caddy's dialogue? Because Caddy says some interesting things in Chapter 5. She said some interesting things for a few chapters. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. Revenge for all the way back then.
Never been higher. You are damn right.
Yeah. Chris zombie stocks are at an all-time high. Let it be known, we were right. Alright, so let's read some of this Caddy dialogue. Chris, how could you let Noelle go with the purple beast? Is this revenge for all the way back then? I told you I already cast apology spells. I admit, I was weak. The fear took me. I left you to complete the summoning alone. Do you really still curse me for that? So, something happened way back then. Now, a lot of people say, like a lot of people probably think this is like kind of jokey dialogue, right? Because it kind of gives jokey dialogue because Caddy has never been made too important in this game. But Caddy, at least this version of Caddy with an I, is unique to Deltarune. She was not in Undertale. The other cat was in Undertale with Bratty, but this character right here, new to Deltarune. And off rip, I think that makes her important. And she's talking about doing a summoning. Were you saying?
So yes, the thing that makes me think this is important isn't whether she was in Undertale or not. It's the fact that this summoning has been talked about multiple times now.
That's the other thing.
Because this isn't the first time it's been brought up.
I believe it's also brought up in Chapter 4, right?
Yes.
Actually, see if I could pull up her Chapter 4 dialogue as well. Hang on. No, not her.
It was
not
Susie.
That.
Susie said it. Didn't you guys like summon a demon together or whatever? Something like that.
I don't know how the hell I'll be able to pull that up. Might be here, actually. Hang on. If Chris isn't a zombie, they're just fucking with us for aura. Yeah, they just turned green for aura. Yeah, we're gonna fast over this a little bit. Since your mom took me, everybody knows. Our farming by turning your skin green on command. Yeah, dude. Chris just pulled a withered circle. Not the explosion, man.
I could have sworn it was in the church.
I don't know. You know, let's change her skin color. Michael Afton. Oh my god. Wait, that's lore. Okay, Susie Church dialogue. We're gonna see if we can find it. This is 36 fucking minutes. I'm not going through that, man. Okay, the point is... Hang on.
Oh, go to 713.
In what, in this?
Is that the Marmaduke fan one?
Yes.
Yes.
Pocket for fun. Let's pay attention. Jeez, look at you acting so holy. Come on, don't think I haven't heard the rumors. You know, when you and Caddy were kids, didn't you try to summon a demon? I'm surprised they even let you in here. So you heard about that.
Okay, so, yes. This is a thing that was referenced. So this is a thing that was referenced all the way back in Chapter 4. Caddy and Chris summoned the demon. And then in Chapter 5, if I can pull this up... So they tried to summon a demon, Caddy left, and Chris did it alone.
But apparently, lots of people know about it. So it can't have been too private.
Yeah. Entire chat's just saying Chris Trap. I hate y'all.
Chris got entered inside of him?
Chris does not got entered inside of him. That's not what happened. Chris has nothing inside of him. Can also interpret as Caddy leading to the summoning alone herself. No. No.
I left you to complete the summoning alone. Oh, I get it. I see how you could see it that way.
Yeah, but
I left you to go complete it alone versus I left you to do it alone.
Yeah,
And
like, I get it. But considering it's talking about, what's it called? It's talking about Chris's negative feelings towards Caddy here. I'm pretty sure Chris did that shit alone. Yeah, I also don't agree with it. Chris Sniper's Mike Trapper parallels. Chat, I hate all night theories. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Every popular night theory might be garbage.
Not our current night theory.
I think a lot of night theories are god awful. they're not good.
Dude, the creator of Glue Victim has blessed us with a new night theory.
Chris L in particular might be the worst one. I think that one's rotten. Death Knight is the only popular one that I think has potential, but I think it's I don't think it's true.
Address the Deciphant.
Anyway, so Chris and Caddy tried to summon a demon together. There were rumors about it, even Susie knows. The thing is, why is it not letting me go back? Whatever. Five Nights at Freddy's, hold on.
Yo.
Caddy left Chris to do the summoning alone. So Chris summoned a demon. Now, here's the thing. How do we think this summoning happened? Like, what do we think they did?
And what do we think the demon is?
Oh, what's it called? We'll get into how they did it first. I think that's a bit more important right now. Or they kind of go hand in hand. What's it called? We have to try to figure out like what they actually did, because whatever they did, like Caitlin said, it was public enough that Susie heard the rumors. Not a bat. The instance we see them on screen if they aren't dust. Oh yes, that's definitely a bat. That is definitely 100% a bat.
In frame there.
Yes, definitely a bat. That's definitely confirmed. That's definitely confirmed. That's not your eyes seeing what they want to see and saying that it's confirmation. That's true. It's a bat, 100%. Here's second FNAF 2. You gotta die. Anyway, here's what I think happened. Right? They did something alone. It was a public event. People know about it. And a demon was summoned. Now, fun fact about Chris. They're fucked up in this game. Chris has a lot wrong with them. Chris doesn't have their own soul in this game.
Hey, you know what people often do when they summon a demon?
You ever hear of selling your soul to a demon? Chat? The character who has canonically summoned the demon doesn't have a soul. And I just think that that's not supposed to be a coincidence.
Very, very
I think that this summoning, this first event, whatever it was, at the very least, is the reason that Chris does not have their own soul anymore. Now, that kind of leads into everything else that's going on with the plot. Because I think that Chris not having their soul is also very relevant to the rest of the plot. Because that soul is extremely plot relevant, right? Like, it's important to the knight, who I'm pretty sure is the person calling Chris in chapter 4. We don't know for sure, but like, we're pretty sure that's happening. It's important to the plot as a whole. It's important to the Dark World, because Chris is using this artificial soul to seal fountains and stuff. Mm-hmm. Chris has had this artificial soul for a long time, because obviously, like this happened when they were kids. That's what Susie said here. Hang on.
The rumors, you know, when you and Caddy were kids,
When you and Caddy were kids, didn't you try to summon a demon? This happened since they were kids. This is like 10 years ago or something, probably. Which means this might be around the time that Des disappeared.
Which would have been around the time that dark world that Asgore mentioned in his notes might have appeared.
What we are getting at is that this demon summoning that Chris and Caddy did when they were kids, I think this was actually them opening a dark fountain. You're not sure the soul isn't just Chris's? I'm very confident in it. I'm very confident that the soul does not belong to Chris. Otherwise, I don't think we'd have full control over it.
Yeah, me either.
Anyway, like I was saying, I think that Chris and Caddy, when they were kids, opened the first dark fountain. And here's the thing about that. Let's see if it's here. Can we see it here? We can't really see it here. Deltarune Lake. If we look at this, chat, there is this weird spot right here. This is something, I believe Charlie brought this up, right?
Yeah. And I'm with it, because usually,
yes.
like, when people try to summon a demon in real life, there is definitely some making circles and some stabbing things occurring.
Yeah. So, if the first demon summoning was Chris making the first dark fountain...
I don't think Caddy's the knight. Caddy ran
that's
away.
That's not where we're going. That's not where we're going. This right here, I think this is where it happened. I think this spot in the ground right here, I think this is where the first fountain was. All the way back then.
So
as it says,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Says that Asgore said the knight opened the first fountain and was present at the scene, but that is not because he saw it. What it is that he found the black shard there and believes that is connected. So he believes that the knight opened it, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's not like Asgore saw it happen. That's the thing. All Asgore knows about is the aftermath of it. So what that means is
because
that
if Asgore knew how they were opened, he would have just opened one.
Yeah, exactly. Asgore very clearly does not know how to open a fountain. If Asgore knew how to enter the Dark World so long ago, Chapter 5 would not have gone down the way it did. Why would the Black Shard be there then? Well,
you're about to find out, buddy.
Well, they opened a fountain and summoned a demon. What do we think they summoned? What do we think that Chris summoned when opening this first dark fountain right here? When Caddy bailed on them because she got scared, and Chris said, fuck it, summoned the demon themselves, fucking stabbed the earth, created the first fountain, I think it might have been Friend. I'm gonna say something chat might not like. It might have been the knight. Chat, I'm gonna say something. The summoning happened at the lake? I think so. I think that's why this spot is right here. Chat, I don't think the knight is anybody. I don't think that the knight is some lightener that we have to find the identity of. Because here's the thing. I could fucking type. Look at this motherfucker right here. I want you to tell me who the fuck in the light world is carrying this motherfucker like this.
Undyne.
And Undyne. Undyne too.
Like, the only person I think I can look at in the town and be like, yeah, they could take Asgore is Undyne.
What the fuck is this? Sorry, keep going.
And Undyne got yoinked already by the knight.
And then at that point, like, I don't think many people could carry Undyne either.
Dude,
Besides
no one's
maybe
taking
Asgore.
Undyne in a fight, dude. No one's taking Undyne in a fight.
Besides maybe Asgore, I don't think anyone else is able to lift up Undyne like that. I don't think that the Knight is a Lightner. Why does the Knight have clear design parallels to the holidays and multiple Chris poses? I feel like it's been set up to at least be patterned after somebody. I do agree
It is
with
set up
that.
to be patterned after somebody.
That is actually relevant.
Yeah.
Because while I don't think that Des is the Knight, I think that Des is important to the Knight. But we're going to get into that into this in a sec. But to recap, just real quick, Chris and Caddy summoned the demon when they were kids. Or Chris did it. Caddy was there for it and then got scared and left. Chris did it. We think it happened right here. And we think that the demon summoning was actually the opening of the first fountain. Because this happened when they were kids. This is around the time where Des disappeared, and this is around the time where the first dark fountain was made. I think these are all connected. I think that Chris opened the first dark fountain all those years ago. And after that fountain opens, there is a black shard left at the scene. I think that's also very relevant. I think that Chris summoned the Knight. I don't think that the Knight is a Lightner, because I don't think there's any Lightners besides Undyne, who is no longer present, that could have kidnapped Asgore physically.
Also, Undyne's not kidnapping herself. That would be really
and
impressive.
and Undyne's not kidnapping herself. I don't think there's any other candidates. I don't think there's anyone else who could have done this. I think that the Knight is not someone that we are supposed to just uncover. I don't think this is someone's, like, I don't think this is an identity we need to just figure out.
This isn't someone's persona.
Yeah.
Or Gerona.
Shut up. I wholeheartedly believe that the Roaring Knight is the demon that Chris summoned all the way back when they were a kid, before the events of Deltarune. Now, as I think it was B-Dubs who pointed it out in the chat, after the summoning, there is a black shard left at the scene. And more importantly, rather, the Knight is very clearly meant to parallel the holidays and hits multiple Chris poses. Now, you were much more spearheading this part of the idea, because this was like a conversation you and Charlie had that I wasn't there for.
Yeah.
So pop off for a second.
Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me find it. I just want to make sure that I don't get any of this wrong in paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But
Also gonna pull up Des's room in chapter 4.
Also, I know we did the zombie Chris theory, but another thing Charlie brought up is the potential that instead of being fully dead, it was like a in the hospital, like coma, life support type of potential
Yeah.
situation. Well, not like a coma, but life support, like being in the hospital to keep them alive. And that would be the reason there was a piano in the hospital.
Yeah.
And that the person who works there had heard Chris play.
Yeah. I can get behind the idea that Chris never fully died, but
And
was very much
Charlie-
so in the process of it.
Yeah, and Charlie liked the idea of to mirror Azrael's computer in the bedroom, instead of having the wagon with the cage there, because at the time, Chris wouldn't have had a soul. The piano would have been there instead, and it got moved to the hospital.
Alright.
Right,
Now,
so, but the reason Des is relevant
yeah.
was because of the idea of, hold on, let me find that Shama says that the crystals, the shadow crystals that we find, which we get one from the Knight, have the power of, was it
Broken Dreams? Or, hang on. Chapter 5, Sham Dialogue. Let me pull some of this up. He does not fucking say I am Gaster. Shut up, thumbnail. Once again, you
Also,
find a scratch crystal. Now give it here, give it here. Need one more. I'll give you an explanation about all this. The shadow crystals are far more than pieces of glass. They contain a certain power. Call it will. The power they contain is the power of lost dreams. That's what shadow
yeah.
crystals are.
Now, do you know who it seems like tried a whole lot of things?
Break it down. I'm trying to pull up.
Yes. If you look at Dess's room,
I'm trying to pull it up, but I can't find it. Oh wait, here we go. This story might have it. The shelf in front. Okay. Underneath are army rations, guitar picks, paintball gear, ice skates.
we're not
Elytra's
saying
drawing of
possess
a
Des.
dragon. We're not saying that.
We are saying that the knight is making use of the shadow crystals,
Okay,
and that the
this
shadow
fucking thing
crystals
isn't
are
letting me read it.
lost dreams.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm done looking. I just saw some crazy shit. I just saw some
Dude,
crazy shit.
what is happening in this
I
YouTube
hate
space these days?
Deltarune
It's
fans.
so ass.
I hate these people so much. Anyway, Des has a lot of dreams. Seemingly has a lot of dreams that didn't go through. Des has a lot of instruments in her room and shit that are legit just like broken up. Like there's a bunch of dents in everything. I tried to find the dialogue. I couldn't. And I saw some crazy shit down there, and I'm not looking anymore. But yeah, no, we're not saying possessed Des, but Des has a lot of broken dreams, which is what this is. That's what shadow crystals are. And as we know, the knight's sword is a giant shadow crystal. A shadow crystal breaks off of it. What we think. God.
So basically, the idea is that the knight is using the power from the shadow crystals, and that to like kind of like its true form is that little tennis ball shape that we see it turn into in chapter 3. And that the actual like humanoid thing is constructed using the power of the shadow crystals.
Yeah.
Basically, the knight is a projection.
More or less. This kind of ball shape that this was Charlie's idea, this one entirely. This kind of ball shape that the knight takes multiple times. This is the knight's like true original form. And then I think after Dess's disappearance and after all of Dess's dreams were like fully lost forever, I think the knight kind of took on this form. Des is into the knight. Dess's disappearance and all of Dess's broken dreams and everything that happened to her, I think influenced the knight. And that's why the knight looks like this now.
Yeah, but it wouldn't only have Dess's dreams, it would be gathering up any it could. Which is why we see it hit Chris poses.
Because Chris also has a lot of broken dreams, including, but not limited to, the fact that they don't have their goddamn soul anymore.
You know, like wanting to be a monster and not a human as a child. Not exactly something you can do. Or, you know, wanting to just kind of live a normal person life where you're not controlled by, you know, crazy video game players who just want to see what they can do with the game that is your life.
Yeah, speed ups. We were saying mimic knight. not
Dude,
fully, but like kind of.
Kind of. Dude, I literally so I was talking to Charlie. I literally said, "You hit both big FNAF theory memes with this. Character is a projection and mimic whatever."
But like it kind of like I do think that's kind of happening here because the knight is mimicking a lot of Chris's poses, but also looks like this, has those antlers.
Yeah. And Charlie also pointed out the knight's name maybe being a play on words, and that they are literally the night, like nighttime.
Without the K.
Like the dark.
Yeah. Like, this is a being of, like, pure darkness, essentially. So yes, the roaring night is a mimic that is absorbed so much agony that it has taken on its own sentience. And yes, I am a FNAF fan. Could you tell?
That's a way to explain it.
Could you tell that I'm a
I
FNAF
wouldn't
fan?
call it agony though. Like I wouldn't call
It's
Lost
not
Dreams
agony, but like it's in a vein.
Well, Lost Dreams don't even necessarily have to be like negative, right? Because maybe you lost your drive to pursue a specific dream because you found another direction you enjoyed more.
Yeah. They're the night and ERAM is mare backwards. Together they are nightmare.
Nightmare.
That's
Oh my gosh,
true.
wait,
They're
here.
broken dreams. They're nightmare. That's stupid as shit, but I'm not entirely against
I
it.
kind of love it. Write that down.
I kind of like. I hate that, but I also love that for the same reason.
Please write that down. I
Yeah.
love that.
Nightmare. I spelled it wrong once. We're cooked. Anyway, chat. That's kind of what our current theories are on this son of a bitch. Now, yes, is this speculative? Absolutely. That said, some of you motherfuckers are pushing Chris L. Knight. Maybe none of you in the chat, but motherfuckers are trying to push that. So I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about speculation, because every night theory is going to be incredibly speculative. This is an explanation that I think plays into the set pieces that we were given in Chapter 5. Because I do fully believe that I don't think any Lightner in their normal state can be the Knight. I don't think
that's the thing. It's like if they are a Lightner, they will revert back to their Lightner form upon leaving the Dark World. No one can take Undyne and Asgore like that.
Yeah. Like there's nobody who is like physically strong enough to do that.
Because they have to get them through town to the shelter and faster than we can chase them.
Yeah.
And when they took Undyne, Susie was booking it.
I do think that Death Knight is like the other most likely option. If it's not this, then I'm gonna say it's probably Death Knight. Because I do see a lot of the obvious evidence for Death Knight. Like, it is all there, but I think when you start thinking about the timeline and everything that's happened, I think it starts to fall on its face a little bit.
Well, that's the thing, Kubus, is that that's why they can't be a Lightner, because a Lightner would change back. So they have to be something else.
Yeah.
But it seems to have gathered the lost dreams of multiple people in the town.
Yeah. Anyway, chat, that's our thoughts on the first summoning of the Dark Fountain and the Knight. That's what we think of that right now. There's probably going to be... Hang on. It's very hard for the Knight to be any of the kids now, since I've seen to date back 7-8 years. Even really reels out as does, yeah. I'm probably going to make a video on this later, and it's going to be a lot more well-formatted.
Yeah, there's a lot more, like, specifics that we could get into in like, a video.
Yeah. I'm not a good streamer, chat. I'm kind of just going off the top of my head. I never believed the Knight's just... I never believed that the Knight just turns back into a normal hometown resident of the Light World. I always thought everyone's on the same page, that has mostly the same form in the Light. Yeah, but if the Knight looks like that in the Light World, then they're clearly not someone from hometown. Consider the Fallen Star poem with this interpretation? What the fuck is the Fallen Star poem? Is that a thing that in Deltarune?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
And so wept the fallen star, making rivers with its tears. Then slowly from bitter water something grew. It looked like glass. I forgot about this entirely.
Yeah. So...
Appreciate it, Insect. Freedom motif is actually the Lost Dreams motif. True. Someone is mowing their lawn. I'm sorry if that's picking up. It's not. Maybe it does when I talk.
I don't know. I
Glasses.
don't hear it.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at OBS. It's not really picking up that much. Glass is probably the shadow crystals are related to them. Yeah, it seems like. I mean, the shadow crystals are glass in the light world. So, like, I think that checks out. What the? This broke. How did that break so bad?
My turn to have obnoxious sounds outside my house.
I heard a little bit of it. Not
I'm
much.
so sorry.
You're good. You're good. It didn't really pick up that much. All right. Now that's one controversial take out of the way, chat. And again, I'm going to make a video on that one at some point. This next one, I might make a video on. I might not. I don't know. Think the Twisted Sword is going to show up in Chapter 6? Yes. I think you can make that
Surely.
in Chapter 6. On certain routes. I think that's going to be very interesting. We're gonna get there. But we're not going to talk about that today, but I'm interested in that. What's up?
Like, I wonder if there will be kind of this choice between, you know, make the Twisted Sword and, like, actually kill the entity, or just sealing it back wherever it came from.
Anyway, I want to talk about the prophecy for a little bit, chat, because I have some takes on the knight and the summoning. I also have some takes on the fucking prophecy. And it's because of Flowery. Hi Mio. This motherfucker Flowery changed a lot of my perspective on Deltarune. I hate and love that motherfucker for the same reasons. So
I fell for Toby Fox's game so hard. I
Yeah.
hated him so bad. I hated him so bad at first.
Yeah. Anyway, so Nessie's trans when Lancey be the true Dark Prince. I don't know what Ralsei's deal is gonna be.
It was weird because Ralsei was like, yeah, if that's what you want, which is not great take. So fun fact as well, the prince doesn't have to be anything besides a prince.
Yeah.
Right? They don't even have to be a freaking Darkener, which is kind of wild to think about, according to the text of the prophecy in the sanctuary, in the church. Because Ralsei said from the dark, but the actual prophecy panel said alone in the dark.
Yeah, like alone in deepest dark. That said, that could also be Lancer.
It could be.
Anyway, I want to talk about the prophecy because I have a take on the prophecy now. In Chapter 5, we were introduced to Flowery, and with Flowery, we also got a fuck ton of meta. Ralsei has known for a long time about like commands, right? About the fact that there is a command menu and that everyone is being told what to do. And Susie's like, oh yeah, Flowery told me that. But that's not all that Flowery's doing. Flowery is also... What's up? What are you saying?
Sorry, I just considered, like, the implications of all of the hugging the Ralsei dummy and Ralsei in the fight, with Ralsei knowing that we exist, and it's really funny.
Yeah. To continue on. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. The other thing that Flowery does, which is stated multiple times, especially at the end, Flowery is faking their stats. Flowery is aware of his in-game stats and is faking them. This motherfucker, yeah, like Quan just said, Flowery knows that he's in a video game. Ralsei also knows this. And it seems like Ralsei is also capable of doing what Flowery is doing, and is just saying, I can't do that, because if I do that, I'll fucking crash out, or whatever the hell. Like, Ralsei seems fully capable of doing the shit that Flowery is doing, but doesn't want to, because it would break the game.
It also just doesn't work.
Yeah.
when it counts, right? Like, because that clearly just didn't work against the knight.
Well, I think that would have worked on anyone else. I think there's a reason it didn't work on the knight. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to get to my point. What I think is happening, right? Hear me out, chat. Not only is Rousey aware of stats and everything, Rousey is also somehow aware that Chris is the person opening fountains. Rousey knows that Chris opened a few fountains and seems to might specifically know that the chapter 5 fountain, and Flowery knows it too. These two know what's happening outside of the dark world. They kind of know everything. We've always been talking about how Flowery knows everything, right? I mean, not Flowery, like Rousey. We've been talking for a long time about how Rousey knows everything that's going on. Somehow knows like the layout of the school, knows the computer lab, knows what like Lancer and Queen are in the light world, and now knows that Chris is the one opening fountains. Rousey knows Seth knows that Chris opened the fountain too. Yes, but that's because they directly spoke. Like, Chris said something to Seth. I don't think that Chris was telling Rousey, hey, I'm the one opening fountains. But to get to my point, I think
that was about Flowery knowing, not about Rousey.
I think that Rousey knows everything that's happening because he's reading the code for the game. I think he's aware of the code for the game. Because, like, he obviously is aware of it, and I think he's reading it, and I think that's how he knows things. Right? I think that's how he knows what's happening in the light world. I think that's how he knows everything that's happening in the dark world as well. I think that's how he knows about stats, how he knows that how he knows that Flowery is faking them. Now here's what I'm getting at. Theoretically, if he can read the in-game code and see everything that has happened, then he could also see everything that's going to happen. Rousey could look into the code and see everything that has already happened and everything that is going to happen in the future, right? Because it's all in the code. He has access to everything. He knows what's going to happen. Isn't that what the prophecy is? See parts of the code that aren't even there yet? Yeah, I mean, I don't think canonically Deltarune is broken up into multiple segments. I don't think that's happening. I mean, maybe later on because of the stuff that happens on the weird route. But what I think is ultimately happening here, and yes, Rousey also seems aware of the weird route because of the dialogue differences when you get to the dark world. I think that Rousey is reading the code for the game, and I think that's what the prophecy is. I think the prophecy is literally the code for the game. And the reason that Rousey is so sure that the prophecy can't be changed is because it is literally coded into the game itself. And they are not capable of changing that. Flowery tries to change that, and Rousey's like, no, you can't do that. That's gonna fuck with everything. I think that's why Rousey for so long has been so adamant that, hey, you cannot change the prophecy. What's fated to happen is going to happen. The prophecy is clearly the Deltarune religion, though. It's interpreted. Everything is an interpretation of the prophecy. Like, yes, there is a religion about it, too. I also believe that. I also believe that Lord of the Hammer was made based off of it. I think it's all based on the code of the game, because that's like a canon thing. Like, characters are interacting with the code of the game. Des is lost in there too. Ross, everybody knows the code is permanently recorded that the soul went through with the drowning out. That's another thing. You can permanently change the code of the game by doing the weird route. That is like a thing. If you do the weird route, if you drown with Noelle, it permanently changes your file. Not only does it permanently change your file, it changes the rest of your files to the point where the base Windows antivirus literally flags it as malware. Now that gets into something else entirely. That gets into the weird route, which I guess we could talk about a little bit now. Ralsei's whole thing is that you cannot change the prophecy. It is doomed to happen. However, I don't think that's true on the weird route. Because on the weird route, Chris and Noelle actively break the game. They break the boundaries of the game. They literally break it so bad that it seems to skip chapter 4, and it says, hey, insert chapter 7. Like, skip this whole next part of the game and go to the one right after. I think that what's happening is that on the weird route, we are fucking with the code of the game. We are going against the prophecy. I don't think that it's meta since Undertale has game mechanics with an year's experience. It's rules of the world instead of rules of the game. Maybe it's weird to explain. It's like it might be meta, but it might not. It's weird Toby Foxisms. Toby Fox is weird about that shit. Because then you're asking like, oh, is Sans meta? Like, does Sans know the shit that you're doing? And maybe not. We still don't know what Sans knows. Anyway, I think that the weird route, what's happening there, is Chris and Noelle literally breaking the game, breaking the code for the game, and that's fucking with the prophecy. That's how those two are going to go against the prophecy. Now, that might also happen on the normal route, because that's also Susie's whole thing. Susie's whole thing is that she also wants to go against the prophecy. This is a well-established thing. I think it's happening on both routes, it's just the way that it happens is different. Caitlin, give thoughts. You've been quiet for a while.
Oh, I stopped making them at some point. I don't.
Come on, man. We talked about this.
I had them, but they're gone. Oh God, that's loud.
What do you think about chap? You know, we're just gonna move on. Will this disprove will care? I already did it.
Hey, sorry, there's a really loud motorcycle.
We're moving on. What do we even talk about next? Alright, she's gonna be on mute for a while because it's loud over there. Alright, chat. Let me just read chat for a little bit. Oh, okay.
Sorry, they've been being extremely loud right outside my window for a very long time.
One thing that this means, chat, by the way, I think that Ralsei probably knows who the knight is. I don't like theories that like the weird route is the weird ending or whatever because of the game themes. I don't think that the weird route is the real ending. I don't think there's such a thing as a real ending. Yes, I do think we're gonna get the rest of the soul modes eventually, for sure. We've been getting the rest of them. I don't think there's a world where we don't get the last one.
Soul mode just gives us a knife.
Like, I don't think there's a world where we don't get the last one. Playing Devil's Advocate here, but if it's against the prophecy, why does it say insert chapter 7 side B? This suggests to me Gaster had accounted for this. I mean, he might have. What I think is gonna happen, I think it's one of those cases where, like, the game wants the prophecy to happen, and so to compensate for the shit that Chris and Noelle are doing, a lot of other things are going to change to try and fit the prophecy. Like, I think it's going to try to keep things as accurate as possible, but it's going to be really hard to do because I think Chris and Noelle are going to keep breaking the game. I think it's going to keep happening. Watch just speak Shadow the Hedgehog, you need both endings to get the last chapter. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing ever. I don't think that's really a thing Toby Fox would do, but, like, he might. At least Seth knows that Chris opens Dark Fountains before Chapter 5 when it's open. Something's up with all of them, I think. Well, I think in that case, I think Chris actively talked to Seth. Okay, there's 3 messages here. In the Deltarune / Chapter 5 website, if all of the 5 chapter numbers refer to the weird route, in the website, Chapter 1 is not visible and is seriously small, and Chapter 1 has nothing to do with the weird route, but the start of Chapter 1 when creating a vessel, when you choose a favorite food for your vessel, there's one option, cold. What if that's related in any way? Maybe? I don't know. Let's know about the sword route, true. Do you guys think Toby's claim that there's only one ending is still true in some sense, or if that's a lie? I don't think it was a lie.
It's
So
got
here,
a question mark on it.
here's the thing. I think that there's one quote-unquote ending to the game. There's one way that the story ends. But if you've been paying attention, Susie, since Chapter 4, has been talking about how she wants to make a story that will never end. Gerson asks straight up, how do you want the story to end? And Susie's like, I don't want it to end. I want it to be something that'll go on forever. And I think that's how you're going to get around the one ending thing. I think you're going to have a story that never ends. It's going to be an adventure that never stops.
I think going along with Ralsei will get you the one true ending of the prophecy.
Yeah.
Going along with Susie will subvert it by not ending. Going along with Noelle will create a new ending.
Yeah,
But it's
going
not
along.
necessarily going to be better.
Yeah. Going along with Noelle will break the game. Fuck it, going along with Noelle might make it so there is no story anymore. The story didn't end because everything else ended. I don't know.
Or maybe there's the whole concept of just freezing it in time forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't go on forever, but it also doesn't end.
The ending is the snow grave. So like a loop. Maybe a loop? I don't know. Chapter 5. I think Susie's saying that because she literally has nothing else. Yeah, I mean that's part of it, right? Like Susie is very deep in her escapism. Like, you guys remember how hard Susie popped off at Flowery when he's like, okay, so why don't we just leave this dark fountain and you can seal the one in Castletown? That way we can all survive. And Susie pops the fuck off about how, like, that's my home. I won't let you take it away. We are not sealing it. Like, she's deep in her escapism. She is actively sleeping there. And I don't think that's the first time she's done it. And Rouse is enabling it. What's up?
Her hair is on Chris's bed, and she's like, look, my bed has spikes. Sometimes I want no spikes.
Yeah,
and
that
then
too.
we drop her back off at the Dark World.
So she slept there multiple nights now. And to be clear, it's kind of because of Rouse a little bit. Like, Rouse has enabled that. Rouse has heavily enabled Susie's escapism. Rouse has been kind of enabling Susie, like, since the start.
Ralsei's manipulative.
I agree.
Yeah, he thinks he's doing it for good reasons, but he's definitely manipulative.
100%.
And he is enabling
Bad behaviors.
an unhealthy behavior in Susie to make her care enough about it to go along with what he believes should happen.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna say that Rouse is like a terrible person or anything, because, like, I think he's doing it because he thinks he's being nice, but, like, his actions have consequences I don't think he's ready for yet.
Also, people were asking earlier, so is Ralsei a plant? I don't think Ralsei's a plant, because whatever Ralsei is an impossibility.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, Flowery is the king of vague posting.
Well, is it impossible because Ralsei is a Darkner but wasn't initially, and that transition shouldn't be able to happen? Or is it what just fell?
You good?
Yeah, I just knocked something off my desk. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Or is it that Ralsei's not a Darkner and whatever Ralsei is shouldn't exist? Or is it just that Ralsei shouldn't be able to see the code but can? Like, there's so
Yeah.
many ways that could go.
Like, whatever Ralsei is, we don't know for sure. All we know is that it doesn't make sense. And that tells us nothing, because Ralsei already didn't make much sense, to be honest with you.
And I really think when Ralsei says that Flowery is trying to pretend to be something he's not, and Flowery goes, "Oh, well, why don't you tell your friends what's wrong with that?" It is a dig at Ralsei. Like Ralsei is doing the same thing.
Yeah. It also might be a little bit of a dig at Chris, and, like, saying, like, hey, tell Chris that doing this is wrong. Right now, to their face. Tell Chris that doing this is a bad thing. Because it wouldn't be the first time that Flowery's done that. Because Flowery definitely also has that moment where it's like, hey, so what's wrong with opening dark fountains? So, like, if someone opens a dark fountain, they're a bad guy, right, Ralsei? Hey, Ralsei and Chris, you agree with that, right?
Like, Flowery is absolutely digging at all of them. Well, no. Actually, not at Susie. I
Not
don't
at
think
Susie
Flowery
at all.
digs at Susie at all.
Not at Susie at all.
I think Flowery just, like, the reason that Flowery is digging at Chris and Ralsei is because he wants them to be genuine.
Yeah. But
And
Susie
he
is
wants
as
them to
genuine
stop
as it gets.
hiding who they are. And I wonder if that's because Flowery and Ralsei clearly have met. And
Yeah.
also Flowery and Asgore speak as if they have met before. And then Ralsei, when Asgore's around, is that hat that he's like, I want it, I don't want it, fuck you, I don't want to wear this hat. Suddenly Asgore's around and he's like, where's my hat? Oh god, it's my hat, I need it. Right?
Yeah.
So he's hiding himself from Asgore as well. For some reason.
I don't know what I think Ralsei is. I like the idea of Ralsei being a tree. That was brought up a lot recently, and, like, the reason he's able to show up in all the Dark Worlds is because his roots are spread across all of Hometown, and so he kind of is everywhere. I like
But
that
would make him
idea.
an impossibility.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would make him as impossible as the rest of the flowers are.
And they are not impossibilities.
Yeah, so who knows?
What the thing that was a retort to was Ralsei saying that going against the prophecy is impossible.
Yeah.
You think Chris accidentally killed Des? Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
But maybe not the rest. But definitely, like, I think Chris's actions in completing the summoning led to Des's disappearance.
Yeah, I agree with that fully. And I think Chris hates themselves for that. I think Chris is actively aware of that and has...
I don't think Des was abusive towards Chris.
Not at all.
Like the closest thing we see is getting hit with a wiffle bat until they apologized for bullying Noelle. And I don't think that counts as abuse. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever held a wiffle bat, but I could hit myself with one of those as hard as I could and nothing would happen. Like those are such a nothing thing.
Like, I think they all got along pretty well. Ralsei's a tree, why do they look like a dreamer? Ain't that a question?
Enemies defeated through violence are stated to be lost. Des is the lost girl.
Mm,
That
that is
I see
interesting.
what you mean. I see what you mean there. That is a
And
really
and what's more violent than grabbing a knife and stabbing the earth and summoning a fucking demon? Think about it. Don't
I
actually think
also
about
like
it, but
okay, so hang on a minute though, because now thinking about like I don't know, because like the way Noelle talks about it is it was always the four of them, quote unquote. So it was
yeah,
Des, Azriel, Noelle, and Chris.
yeah,
So it was like the two older, the two younger. So like Chris should have always had like the counterpart to hang out with, as opposed to, oh, it's just me, Des, and Azriel, and they're being all lovey and gross in the corner, and I'm just here by myself. Like it wasn't like that because Noelle
yeah.
was around too.
And there's
But
at
if it
least,
was like that, I could definitely see a lash out. I could
yeah,
definitely even see summoning a demon as a little kid who doesn't understand anything and selling your soul to get rid of the person who's stealing your brother from you.
yeah,
Except Noelle was there.
yeah. And I am fairly convinced that Chris had some form of feelings for Noelle at some point, like when they were younger. Maybe not anymore, but like when they were kids, I think that was a thing.
I honestly kind of wonder if it was necessarily even that, like, oh, Chris has these feelings of their own, or if it was like, oh,
It
look at
was
Des and
expected of
Azriel
them.
acting this way, and then they get expected to kind of end up with the same thing because their families are so close.
Yeah. Deltarune has no one there. Michael Afton is behind it all. I need the drugs you take, man. I need it. Chris L mentioned, I don't think it's canon anymore. I think it's pretty hard to go against Susie and Noelle being the canon couple. But, like, that doesn't
Also,
eliminate how Chris felt about people.
yeah.
Reason?
Deltarune, right? Delta is like it represents four.
Hmm.
Like it's the fourth letter in the Greek alphabet, right? And so I feel like it's interesting that we kind of have this initially we had these four characters and things cycle and then we end up with four characters filling very similar archetypes again.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if something cyclical is how Susie will manage to create something that does not end, even after they have to move on from, you know, this kind of thing, because they will eventually need to just live an actual, like their actual lives and acquire food in the real world to survive, um, as adults at some point. So,
Chris has a one-sided crush on Susie. It's revealed in the Close Your Eyes and Think About Susie segment in Chapter 5. I'm gonna look that up and just see what it says, because I don't know if I saw that. Close your eyes and think about Susie. Will that pull up?
well, I think it's the thing that we looked at earlier.
Yeah, maybe it's this.
Yeah, I think that's what people mean.
Scrolling. I don't trust these people.
Yeah, like seriously, something's up with the YouTube search. Only the first like three results are ever relevant anymore.
Yeah. God, Nervous posted about this. I saw Gibby. Okay, here, think about Susie. Give her some privacy. Maybe I'll go look for some flowers too.
Yeah, she asks human or monster and then they just give her a look and she's like, "Don't look at me like I'm stupid." But I get how you can I get how you guys are getting that, but I just thought it was like Chris does not like humans. Chris does not want to be a human. You look at the human book in the library and Chris freaks out and like slams it shut.
Chris wore red horns as a child
Chris does not
to blend in
fuck
and
with
be more
humans.
monster-like. Chris does not like being a human.
Because it's not what's your type, it's human or monster that's the question.
You chilled.
Also, have we being human does suck. I feel bad for you guys. Um,
Huh?
if can we talk about also the whole like Chris being compared to a dog thing? That happens several more times in this chapter.
Yeah, like especially with Pink. Shout
No,
out to the. Hmm?
uh there's also like oh god, who was it? Somebody giving Chris scraps under the table
I think it
that was
was.
said. And I
I
think that was a
think
one
it
of
was
the hangouts
Susie and
things.
Ralsei. I think everyone did it.
Rat Boy trade. I don't want to trade if you call me Rat Boy. Green telling me he has to trade. And him and Susie are giving Chris scraps under the table.
Like Chris wants to be a monster so bad. Susie and Noelle talk about going to the diner, getting Chris scraps under the table.
Yeah, that too. That happens too. I knew there was another one.
Chris Deltarune just wants to be a dog, man.
Furry cannon.
Kinda. How is Chris a human, by the way?
Adoption.
You ever hear of a stork before? I don't think that's their like biological child. I unironically think they found a. I unironically think they just found a child just like on the street, or Chris was delivered by stork.
Those are the options.
Because you have in chapter 2, I think, or chapter 1 or 2 is when you see it. There's the book about how to raise humans, and Toriel took it out like a considerable amount of times. Stork theory, true. Night kneeling makes me think Rudy theory. No, I think Knight kneeled because of terminal velocity. Suspiciously gaster-shaped stork. Like, I think the reason that the knight was kneeling was because they bumped into a wall like a dumbass. And then after getting up, they were chilling.
I feel like the knight is very fast. And going that fast into a solid object hurts.
Yeah. What does it matter if I'm adopted? What? Who told them?
Amazing.
I'm gonna open this thing that you sent me on stream, or the first one at least.
Okay, yeah. Did we address the amalgamate-sized knight in the room?
Nah, a little bit.
Dude, I've talked about Alphys being like connected to it all because we do kind of parallel a lot of the Undertale things. So
Yeah.
if there's like a True Lab kind of equivalent in the shelter,
This
you
is
would think Alphys would be
yeah,
relevant.
definitely. Mrs. Trapadoria, we talked about. Jesus Christ, you joined Asunaro. That's the expensive one.
No, that's not new. That's that they've already been that for a month. But that
Oh
means they
my
got charged the second
god!
time, which is insane.
Out of Asgore's 7 colored flowers, which actual Light World plant do you think would taste the best? Do you think green tastes like cheese?
No, outside of the or out of. No, I thought it said outside of. It is out of. I think it's flowery because then you die. No.
You're going to hell. By the way, before I keep going out on this topic and try to think about it, Mrs. Trapadorio, I talked about my knight theory like way earlier in the stream. I don't think the knight is anybody. I think the knight is a demon. Like literally. I think that the demon summoning that Chris and Caddy did when they were kids, and then Chris ended up going through with, I think that's how the knight was summoned. I don't think that the knight is an actual lightner. I don't think Chris L. Knight is real. I know that it's getting more and more popular, but I don't believe in it. What do you think of Azrael and Des being trans for trans? I have no thoughts. I don't have any negative thoughts, but I don't have any thoughts on that one. But good for them if it's true. Anyway, I'm going with green tasting the best because green might taste like cheese, and I like cheese.
Why would green taste like cheese?
Because green cooks, and then there's the bit with the whole "you owe me $2." I just eat cheese. You owe me $2. Oh, it's just cheese.
If anything, that means that yellow would taste like cheese.
No, what? You hear what I said? Anyway, my
yeah.
answer is green. Green is a cook anyway.
I'm going with yellow because yellow got coated in cheese.
That did happen. That part is true. You guys have any thoughts on Pirate Gaster? Okay, how did that happen? I don't know if you saw this all over Twitter. Everyone just thinks Gaster's gonna be a pirate all of a sudden. And I saw Gaster saying the F slur multiple times on Twitter.
Yarg.
And I just don't know how that happened. Glitch found a glue. Glue. Yeah, I have no idea where Pirate Gaster came from, but I'm glad it happened.
Pirate Gaster's amazing, and he says words that I cannot repeat. I'm allowed to say those words.
The knight is the devil from the Bible. You know what? For the sake of
no.
okay, you know what? You're allowed to. You're not straight. You can do that. Because normal MC talks like a parrot, and every parrot needs its pirate. True. Papyrus has a flag of pirates in his room. Oh my god, it's Papyrus Gaster. The knight is a demon.
God.
What's the deal with the antlers? I mean, I don't think the devil having antlers is exactly uncommon, to be fair.
Horns.
Yeah,
like demons actually very specifically have antlers.
Yeah, like that's not exactly uncommon.
But again, projection. Aside from the ball made out of the crystals being Charlie's thing, meaning that those crystals should kind of mirror who most of the lost dreams came from.
Yeah, we are back to Papyrus Knight in the most fucked up way possible. Papyrus Knight is back on the table. I also am not a big fan of Chris and Noel being an amalgam and that being the Night glitch. Did the demon go buy a phone and phone service to call Chris? Yes. Demons are allowed to have phones too. Also, I forget if I said thank you for the fucking membership or if I just like popped off about it, but thank you, Little Oink. Dubs, Little Oink. This would be the time.
Yes.
You know what? Sure, we'll show that one too.
Freaking too.
Sure, we'll show that one too.
I stand by that. I stand by that.
If you censor the word, it's okay. But I do think that Noel that Des would say that. Noel wouldn't, but she'd think it.
Noelle would agree vehemently out loud, but would not repeat the phrase.
Yeah.
No matter how good she is, she's slightly uncomfortable saying the word still.
Yeah, Chris Dark Worlds, I'll have that freaky, world-revolving, violent, freedom, hyper-character, aqua E-Ram Jevil. That is true. Did Chris open the Chapter 1 one? Do we know that?
We don't know who opened the Chapter 1 one.
We have no idea who did that. Do we have a reason to think it was, Chris?
No, actually. King talks about the knight showing up and opening.
Oh. Implied from Chapter 5? You're gonna have to show me what you mean by that, because I don't remember that part. If the soul is the angel, that's another reason I like the idea that they're the demon. Because it means Toby is going through with extremely base truth, think that angels are demons, said the same thing. What if Night is based on the forest demon, Leshy? I don't know what that is. They have antlers and shelters surrounded by forests, maybe. What's up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're
Sorry,
popping off
I know about Leshen.
Makes sense. What if Ralsei is the darkness itself? He's the prince of the dark. I don't think Ralsei is the darkness itself, but maybe. Step back would Susie open the door. So yeah, I agree with that. Chapter 5 Dark World being so similar to Chapter 1 Dark World, that is true. And to be fair, in the Chapter 3 Dark World, there's those, like, the first bit of Chapter 3 is also very reminiscent of the start of Chapter 1. And we know that Chris opened the chapter 3 one and the chapter 5 one, so like honestly, I can kind of see it, to be honest. I don't mind who ends up being that. I just don't want it to be Des. I think it'd be really funny if it wasn't Des and everyone was just fucking wrong about it. I think it's the funniest way this could go down. Are all the Dark Worlds connected, by the way? Like, could I walk from the Flower one to the Castletown one? So, sometimes there's been a door.
Sometimes there's been a door, but only when they're in adjacent rooms.
That said, Ralph goes between all of them very
Ralsei
easily.
goes between all of them, but the thing is, if they were all connected, then there shouldn't be this issue of certain darkness turning to stone in certain fountains.
Yeah.
Like, it just shouldn't be a problem. Somehow Ralsei gets to all of them, but not everyone does. Right? Like, we had to carry Lancer in our pocket.
And then Lancer didn't turn into stone in chapter 3, I'm pretty sure, right? Like, chapter 3's was inversed for some reason. So I don't know what's up with that.
It wasn't, like, not everyone turned to stone.
Yeah, but like some of the people that turned to stone were like people that were native to chapter 3.
Yeah, native residents.
Like, chapter 3 doesn't make sense. And we never really talked about that. Rasa travels through the game code. True. If there are some tones connected,
that he could solo every Dark World in the second Sanctuary. He does. He literally does say, like, just let me go ahead. I can do all of it. I'll do everything. Just please.
Yeah. And we know that he can. We saw him fucking. We're just gonna call it Fire Shock, right? We're just gonna call it that, the move that he uses.
Yeah, I'm down to call it Fire Shock. He definitely used fire magic.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I freaking called it.
Rules turns to stone in chapter 2, but not in chapter 3. Same with Lancer, and I don't fully get why. Imagine if Azrael shows up with a grown-up Kara. Oh god, dude! If we see proper Kara,
let's turn to stone. Rules turns to stone.
Yeah, not in chapter 3 though. Does he?
Oh no, not in 3.
Yeah, that's what I said. Turns to stone in chapter 2. Both routes.
So I thought rules never turns to stone generally as a statement meant all the chapters.
And Chris is Kara though. They're definitely meant to parallel each other to some extent. You mean Frisk? Are we ever gonna see Frisk in Deltarune? Probably not, but like, what if, right?
I think the reason, like, I think Rules is good at inserting himself into storylines.
That's what he's done every time.
Because, like, and I think that's why it took him so much longer to turn to stone in the chapter 2 one as well, is because he was inserting himself into the story.
Frisk is the knight. We gotta blow y'all up. Okay, is there anything we didn't talk about from this list, by the way? Because I think we kind of covered everything at least a little bit.
I want to talk about those Noel sprites.
Oh, sure.
Breaking the game, like.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but we'll go back into it. So, chat, for anyone that doesn't know, here are Noel's sprites in the Chapter 5 Weird Rat sequence. Now, as I'm sure all of you know, like, they're usually like this. Like, they're really blurry. It's really hard to actually see it.
Dude, that's the depths down there.
Yeah, but here's...
the depths.
Yeah, hang on. This is what they actually look like. Now, what's really interesting about this... Yeah, is like just like Mrs. Trapp said, it's like Caitlin was saying, there is light coming from underneath her at the very end.
She's also clearly not in the water anymore because of what her hair is doing.
She's not underwater anymore. Like, she's very clearly underwater in all of these. That's why, like, the color starts changing, because this is water. But at the end, she's not underwater anymore. There is a source of light coming from underneath her as well. This is where her and Chris break the game. Also, yes, it is creepy as fuck. I don't know exactly what the deal with this one is.
Which one?
The very last one, where it's just zoomed in on her face.
Doesn't that look like a more worried expression? Like she's just seen something horrifying?
Yeah, but like, I wonder if that's just what this looks like all the way zoomed in, without like the face. Because the reason
No,
this one looks
the
so
eyes look
unsettling.
the same.
Are they not?
They're
They,
close, but they're not the same.
I don't know. Like, I'd have to like zoom into this one and see if it looks concerned like this, like from like just top side. Her hair looks more like a pine tree when she's underwater. I kind of get it. Are we sure these are in order? Yes, these are in order.
They are numbered in the.
Yeah. But yes, this is her breaking the game. Like I said earlier in the stream, we've brought this up a few times. Chris and Noelle are breaking the game. They are breaking into the code for the game, basically. They are fucking with everything. To be perfectly clear, chat, I think they are going where to wherever Des is in the code. Because like I said earlier, I think, do I still have the lake open? Here, over here. Like I said earlier, I think this right here is where the first fountain was opened. We talked about this. I think this is where it happened. This is probably also where Des disappeared, and this is where Noelle and Chris drown. I think they're gonna end up in the code wherever the fuck Des went. In chapter 6, or I guess chapter 7 B-side is going to be fucked up because of it. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. Christmas tree, true. That's what it is. What else do we want to talk about, Caitlin?
Probably. I mean, we got to do our future predictions.
We should talk about some future predictions. So let's get this out of the way real quick because Swans Potatoes just brought it up. I don't think there's a chapter 6 weird route. Like, I don't think that's a thing. I think it's just gonna skip it. Let's talk about the red friend face that's hidden in the cliffs. We didn't talk about that. That one's weird. It's weird that it does damage to you too. I don't really have any thoughts on it because there's nothing to say. Friend is the potential man of Deltarune right now. What do you think about Hometown being a simulation? I would hate that, but like maybe. Poor Susie, she left them for a moment so they disappeared. Dude, I can't imagine how Susie's gonna feel on the weird route. I feel so
Dude, that's-
bad for Susie. I feel worse for Chris.
I feel terrible for everyone involved.
Dude, imagine your child. Imagine for like years you've been doing things that you haven't had any say in. Like your body has been puppeteered by a soul that you hate. And then your best friend looks you dead in the eye and says that you're so much more interesting now that you're not yourself. Dude,
Dude,
I feel so bad.
Like, going from chapter 4's weird route saying, Chris, you're back,
Yeah.
to you're so much more interesting now.
Terrifying. Legitimately terrifying. Doomed Chris Yuri, true. I am terrified for them. As for what's going to happen on the normal route, I'm going to be honest, it's possibly even more heartbreaking what I think is going to happen on the normal route. So let's get this out of the way first. Rudy is not dead. I want to say that clearly first. I don't think that Rudy is actually dead. He might be dying. In chapter 5, when Noelle has to run off because she gets the call from her mom that Rudy fell down, in the actual Japanese text, it uses a different phrase. It doesn't specifically say falling down. Now, in Undertale, it specifically uses fallen down, because like falling down is a thing that happens to monsters. They fall, right? It doesn't use that in the Japanese. It just says he like collapsed. So that's what happened. Rudy just collapsed. However, he's definitely still screwed up. Like, he's definitely in the hospital again. He's probably in really bad condition. Now, here's the thing, chat. In Chapter 2, she talks about using healing magic in the real world. Noelle talks about using healing magic in the real world to make her dad good again. And Susie's whole plan for Chapter 5 is to tell Noelle about the Dark World, right? And in the Dark World, in her dream that she hasn't realized wasn't a dream yet, not fully, at least not next to the weird route, Noelle has healing magic. I think that after Noelle finds out that the Dark World is real, I think that she is going to open the next Dark World, and I think it's going to be in the hospital. And not only that, but with the way that Chris has been moving, I unironically think that Chris is going to enable this. I think Chris is literally going to hand Noelle their knife and tell her to open the fountain. I think that is actively a thing that's going to happen. So I think Chapter 6 is going to be the Hospital Dark World. I think Noelle is going to open it with Chris's knife. I think Chris and Noelle are going to be separated from Susie for a little bit, maybe. I don't know if Chris is going to do this behind Susie's back. Chris has opened every other Dark Fountain behind Susie's back, but like this one,
Well,
I
Chris
can't tell.
handed Susie a knife and said, "Open
Well, yeah,
one."
that too. But like that one was a little bit different. That one was so they could seal a different one. This one's for much different reasons. And like Susie's not going to say no to it, but she's gonna have reserves about just opening dark fountains. Right? Like
Also, Ralsei literally said, "No more fountains."
yeah, that too. But I think when this happens, Susie's also here's the thing about Susie, right? Susie knows. I think Susie also knows that Chris is opening fountains. I don't think she's that stupid.
Susie's in denial.
Susie's in pure denial. Susie has been performing pure escapism for a long time. I don't think this is an exception. I think that Susie knows that Chris is opening fountains and doesn't want it to be true. But I think if Susie sees Chris give Noelle the knife and tells her to open a fountain, I think that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, at least in her mind. I think she'll stop denying it so hard.
I think it would be interesting if that's where we see the big difference between normal and aborted weird is in how Noelle reacts to realizing that it won't work.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Dude, oh my god.
I mean there's kind of the unspoken like possibility that she just kind of doesn't show back up in the story after realizing that nothing changed. But
No. Caitlin, I have the worst idea just crossed my mind.
yeah.
She's gonna try to heal Rudy in the Dark World, and it's not like in the aborted Weird Out. She's gonna try to heal Rudy in the Dark World. It's not gonna work. She's gonna have a moment where like she's like, because I'm not strong enough, and then she's gonna have a whole mind break. Noelle will get stronger thing, and she might dead ass just start popping off and just like doing anything she can to get stronger. I think
Start
she
bone
might.
smashing, dude.
Yeah, literally. Like, I think she might start fucking people up. That would be insane. It would be crazy, but like for aborted Weird Route where her mental is so beyond shot, I think it's
or
possible.
if she goes down this line of thinking, right? Because she was comparing the chapter 2 one to a video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she goes down this route of like, okay, well, to get even stronger, you have to kill even stronger enemies. If she finds out what a Titan is or how to summon one,
Oh god, yeah. Also, someone said, hang on, I have to find who said it. Yeah, Muniek said, that's why we banished the Angels Heaven. We're fucking
Yeah, Noelle's
banishing Noelle's
fountain.
Fountain. That would be crazy. Like, if Noelle is meant to be the angel, because that's kind of been said, like, Noelle's been called an angel multiple times.
And she wore the angel wings and made the angel doll.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cute, by the way. And just
Yeah.
imagining like little baby Chris and Noelle running around with the angel wings and the devil horns.
Yeah. Now, I don't think Noelle's gonna accidentally kill Rudy, but I think Noelle on Aborted Weird Route is going to slip back into a fucking manic episode and start just like popping off, trying to
Yeah,
get
no,
stronger
she's
by freezing
completely
random
broken.
darkness.
Like there's no way there's any world where she's fine in Aborted Weird Route. If it just
Yeah.
goes back to freaking normal, that can't happen. That's
Yeah.
the thing. After nearly drowning herself and then having to come back and just act normal with Susie while having at the same time this mental break. Like nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
And Noelle is just a Noelle. I am powerless. Break. She's not fine. She's not
She's
gonna
not
be
fine.
acting the same.
Yeah. It's not like if you were to somehow abort the Weird Route in Chapter 4. Like, aborted the Weird Route in Chapter 4, she might still be okay. Right? Like, if you do it the right way. Like, if Chris runs Noelle out of the room before the whole sequence with Thorn Ring ever starts, she might be okay in that sequence, right? That's possible. Yes, Noelle has gotten crazier than us.
Anyone.
Yeah. Like, on the Aborted Weird Route, we could say, Noelle, stop, and she'll just be like, proceed, and then she'll go along with
Yeah,
you.
she forces it.
Yeah. Like, she's lost it.
And it's
That's...
not that
Mhm.
necessarily that she has gained that like power. It's just that's her response to hearing stop is to go further in the water. I don't think she could force like I mean clearly we see she can't force her way to side B on her own. She still needs us to do it.
Yeah. She's not strong enough. But I think that's
No,
what the break
longer.
is. Yeah, that's my point.
Cuz that's the thing. She still no matter what happens, once you've thorn ringed her, she still has that little red dot. I don't think we can take that out, whatever that is.
I still think it's
Whatever you wanna say it
determination.
is. Well, some people say it's determination, some people say it's a piece of the soul. Like, I've heard a couple of things, but whatever it is, you can't undo that, I don't think.
I don't think she's going crazy like Jevil did. I think Jevil's insanity is something different. Because Noelle's craziness comes from, like, her life circumstances, how she's felt trapped. But then the Weird Route has given her a way to break out of that. Because I do think that Noelle feels a lot of the things that she says on the Weird Route. Like, I do
Yeah.
feel, I wouldn't be surprised if she feels like she's trapped, if she's trapped into just being Noelle. And if she doesn't
I
like
also
being Noelle, but she feels too weak. Like, I think that's true in both routes, but you never enable the possibility for that to change, and she just has a much healthier mind state.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing, right? Because if it is determination or a piece of the soul or any of the things people, theorize that red dot to be, does that give her a higher level of awareness in a way where now she can kind of see the like coded things to say in a way of like, oh, people are doing this because it's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
But now because she has this, she's kind of like free of the code.
yeah,
So like in the normal one, she doesn't even like she doesn't even hit this point of like, oh, I'm just going through these motions. Everyone's just going through these motions. Everyone is ignoring it because they just want to do what they're supposed to.
yeah. That makes sense too, because it's like she literally says, "Chris, you found a way to stop being Chris." Like, those are words that she says.
God, I can't. The freaking dynamic between like, oh, it's you, it's really you, you're back. Oh,
You
you're
found a way to
done with your
stop
bumbling
being you.
voice. And then you're so much more interesting now.
Yeah.
Don't pretend. You can't even say stop like you used to.
That
Like,
is the scariest thing to hear from
oh my
someone.
God. Dude, seriously, I got, oh my god.
Chapter 5 is unironically one of the scariest indie games we've had in a while. Like, fuck everything else.
Does Noelle know about the prophecy? Probably a little bit. I mean, it is the religion. She goes to church every week. She's in the
Yeah.
choir. But she probably knows about it the way it's presented in the religion. You know, the angel is good and everything, whereas in, you know, the version we're presented with in the Dark Worlds is that the angel is this force that's going to bring the roaring. Or the angel's heaven
Yeah.
type thing.
Alright. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap things up? Because I am hungry.
Dude, I'm also hungry.
Yeah. So what else do we want to talk about?
Let me scroll through the things that I have saved
Yeah, God.
really quickly.
Because I'm trying to wrap up a little bit soon. I need to break back into streaming.
Yeah. So hold on. I'm gonna scroll to the top of where I took all the screenshots and just go down them.
Yeah.
It's interesting that one of the key things that Aqua apparently learns from checking Chris is uh a human has a knife and that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the important things about this character, all of them.
We've seen Chris use the knife. They/them theory is real. Chris/.
Yo,
The fact that that's called they/them is so fucking funny.
I love that. That's fantastic theory naming. There's another thing, right? One of the flavor texts that can happen in Aqua's battle is the enemy makes a patient's wristband out of a ribbon, like the hospital wristband. Like it's patient, like doctor and patient.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like hospital wristband, and I'm trying to figure out why Aqua would do that.
I don't fucking know. Secret of confidence, you gotta die, bro.
What
Well,
happened now?
You can't say stomp like you used to because you overheard Chris pleading Des to stop being abusive. You're going to hell, bro.
Dude, why do you want to say Des was abusive to Chris? Where are you getting this?
Will there be any other streams before the SL video releases? If I feel like it. Like, if I have something to stream about, maybe. But, like, if I have nothing to stream about, then I have nothing to stream about, and it is what it is. I don't know what to stream. Like, I'm doing this to get the...
right now, where we're at in this
Yeah.
location video isn't conducive to streaming.
Yeah, like, we're at the point where it's like, I'm finishing up the recording and editing the audio, and Caitlin's getting to, like, editing the proper visuals and everything. Like, we're at the part where it's like, there's nothing to really talk about. Like, we have all of the research done already.
Yeah, but once the sister location video comes out, you know, we'll be able to stream the process of, like, note-taking and coming with like, scripts and stuff.
Yeah, we might do that a
For
little
the
bit.
next video. I feel like that's fun, and chat brings a lot of, perspectives that are,
Yeah.
I think, really valuable.
We almost did a stream about the FNAF teaser, but then I thought about it and I was like, dude, I have nothing to say.
Dude, I tried so many things.
Like, at most, I could get
teaser.
5 to 10 minutes of thoughts. When Scott says he has a new game down the pipe, but his new teaser has water pipe in it. Will it be Chris's favorite FNAF game?
Yeah, what's your favorite FNAF game?
Shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me like that. Chris would hate Five Nights at Freddy's. Fully believe that.
Noelle would love it.
His fave would be Security Breach because it's free roam. Noelle's favorite would also be Security Breach because you could break the game so easily. True.
I think Noelle would like FNAF 4.
I think Noelle would be terrified of FNAF 4. I don't think...
Yep, she literally says she likes being scared.
Yeah, but also I think Noelle was terrified by mice. And if she saw Nightmare Foxy in the closet, she would actually run out of the room.
It's still fun.
You think you'd do a video on Poppy Playtime? Hell no. Okay, I don't know anything about Poppy Playtime, but like it looks very uninteresting to me. So like right now, it's a hell no. If I end up somehow getting interested in it in the future, then maybe. But like right now, I have no vested interest in it.
Everyone has a price.
No, but have a crush on Toy Chica. You gotta die, but I'm gonna show this comment anyway. All right, we got
No
anything
tea.
else to talk about? Some kind of good
Oh, the
to.
freaking the extra house key.
Oh yeah, that is a thing.
I'm gonna send it to you again.
Withered, you gotta die too. Withered, you gotta go, man. You too young to be talking like that. So something that happens in chapter 4 is that Susie and Chris get locked out of the house, right? That is a thing that happens to them.
Indeed.
And here's the thing, and that's why they go to the church and they find the dark world and everything. But here's the thing. When you say we were locked out, Toriel responds with, Chris, is that some sort of a joke? You know where I hide the extra house key. So Chris could have gotten back into that house whenever they wanted, but deliberately led Susie to the church. Which, to be fair, we shouldn't be surprised about. But like, it's a thing.
And also, Sans stopping Toriel from going to look for them.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
I assume to keep Toriel from going into the church dark world.
Yes, presumably. But like
Like
what
to
the
protect
fuck does
her,
Sans
not to
know?
endanger us.
Yeah. But like, what the fuck does Sans know? We've been asking this for 10 years. What if Chris wanted to make the Flower King fountain before the festival? It's more likely the church, though. I don't know, because this is talking about chapter 4. This is talking about when they were locked out of the house in chapter 4, because Chris and Susie couldn't get back inside in chapter 4. And that's why they went to go look for Toriel.
Yeah, Withered knows that. I think he's suggesting that in chapter 4, Chris was like, yeah, we'll go talk to my dad and make the Flower King thing. Ah, shit, there's a dark world in the church. But I don't think that's the case, because when we're at Noelle's house, at least in the normal route, you can see Chris in the kitchen getting a phone call, Dark World, church, need soul. So, a plan was made.
Yeah, a plan was made at that point. Carol toilet theory, you gotta die.
Now, how to explain that we knew Go Church in Weird Route? I don't know.
Probably also planned beforehand, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, that's probably not a spur of the moment kind of decision, huh?
I agree.
Aqua would love Sans.
I've seen that exact clip before with her. It's so fucking bad.
Dude, the idea of Sans, like, being the one to be the first thing to hint at us about, like, oh, you got side B on your file in the next chapter is like a thing that could happen.
Yeah, it is. Alright, anything else, or are we good? What if we tried adding clocks for 10 minutes? You mean to the teaser? Oh, we already did, except we did much longer than 10 minutes. we did that much longer than 10 minutes.
Dude, people were adding clocks for so long. I was like drawing strange symbols. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me. I want to show this.
Oh, okay. This is the last thing. This is the last thing we're doing. Then.
All right. Let me open recent.
You're about to see some absolute stupid shit. They had a war room. I left to go pick up a pizza in the middle of this, and by the time I got back, it somehow was worse.
Okay. This one. This one. And this one. So I'm just gonna screenshot
Yeah, just
my art program here.
Yeah, just send them somewhere.
So there's this version.
I don't even know what you're trying to get at with this one, to be honest. And chat, for the
Me either.
record, I was not involved in the process of some of these. So here's the first screenshot that Caitlin sent me. I don't know what's happening here. And I don't want Caitlin to explain it.
Alright, I'm gonna send you a couple more.
So this is something that Caitlin sent to me. This is devil worship.
I also got these things from that teaser.
What the fuck are these?
And I'm just going to...
Okay, here's some hieroglyphics for you, chat.
This is connected to those. This wide one that I just sent.
Here's some hieroglyphics for you, chat. I'm just sending you everything that Caitlin's sending me. This is clock stuff. This is all about this fucking thing. I don't know how. I don't want it explained to me either. And here's the last one. Alright, chat. Your homework is...
Did you put the arrows up there?
Yeah, they're up now.
Okay.
Your homework, chat, is to find a way to make sense of this and then bring it up in the guac bowl. Go into the guac bowl and say what you think these are. I'll put them all on screen one more time. Not that. We got this one. We got this one. We got this one. And we got this one. Go back and pause if you need to. There might be a Konami code in there. Yeah, Caitlin, put them in the guac bowl. Can I get a fucking invite link to the guac bowl that I could just put in chat?
Yeah.
Hang on.
You should have permission to do that.
Yeah, I'm just making one. Hang on. Gonna make one that never expires. Generate new link. Boom. Put that in the chat. Join the guac bowl and theorize.
You can live stream discussion and you can see.
And just say some bullshit. Try to make sense of it, because I refuse. I will not try to make sense of it. Put the lines in the bowl. Alright, we're ending it there, chat. We're ending it on the strange things. It's too much horror for that kid? Yeah, I'm sure you do, bro. We're ending the stream on the hieroglyphics. So chat, TLDR. Chapter 6, Hospital Dark World. The Knight is a demon from the dark. Kara Knight, Kara Knight, Kara Knight, Kara Knight, Kara Knight. Yeah, no, we're actually ending it right there. Thanks for watching, chat. I'm abruptly ending the stream exactly on that. Good.